This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. A Sunday afternoon from Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis. Game number 3, and the Cardinals looking for a weekend sweep. It's the Chicago Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals. And welcome to the broadcast booth at Busch Stadium. I'm Dan McLaughlin. That's the Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds, and Jim Hayes is with us as well. The cat, even on Purina Pooches in the ballpark day, is here.
You better look out.
You better look out. So, Jimmy, also the Cubs need to look out for Tommy Edman. He has been on fire.
Yeah, he has, and really been doing it from both sides of the plate. Funny that he's still hitting in the 9-hole because this guy has been on fire. But I love the fact that it seems to be when he started hitting the ball the other way, left-handed, it really started opening up a swing. And then this ball to right center field, but I don't think anyone in the ballpark thought he had that in him going the other way in this big ballpark.
Take a look at stats with Lowe's. Tommy Edman, the switch hitter, batting 9th today. And in his last 12 games, he's really picked it up. But 11 extra base hits. And he's driven in 11 and scored 9 runs. Stats with Lowe's, Tommy Edman. The pen, boy, it's taken shape. It's been good in the first 2 games of this series, games 1 and 2. Provided Waino with a win last night. That's coming up next on Bally Sports.
For the season finale between the Cards and the Cubs this afternoon from Busch Stadium, as the Redbirds are looking for the sweep, and Ballpark Village, just like Busch Stadium, has been crazy this weekend. From our Ballpark Village studios, as we get you ready for Game 3 between the Cards and the Cubs this afternoon from downtown St. Louis. Brad Thompson and Scott Warman with you. Well, the Cards pitching is really held into shape, especially since the trade deadline. Think about the bullpen, especially here of late, Brad. They have been sensational.
They've been really good, and it just provides options. If you're Ollie Marmol, Mike Maddox, you look down there and you got a bunch of guys that can get the job done. You know the name of the game come October, right? You'd love to have great starting pitching, but you go to the bullpens early, and these guys have been getting it done. Hit that breaking ball that he was throwing, that slider of his the other day, couple that with 101. He's been great. Andre Palante, been one of the better rookies in the game of baseball. Has helped solidify your bullpen. Stratton, good pickup. Showed Woodford earlier. I love what we're seeing out of Jake Woodford. I mean, top to bottom in this bullpen, the guys are getting it done.
And you think about Woodford, predominantly, well, really, as a starter when he's in AAA Memphis, but making that adjustment as reliever.
You know, and he did it last year down the stretch. Remember, they were relying on him in September. He had been solid, but a look here at the recent stretch of games here for some of these Redbird relievers, they're getting it done. How about JoJo Romero? Like, that was a deal. Edmundo Sosa gets shipped off to the Phillies. You hear, who's this Romero guy they got? He goes to the minor league. Well, so far, so good. Only given up 1 hit since he's been here. Changeup been really good, breaking ball's good, and his fastball runs mid to upper 90s. Been a solid crew out there in the pen.
You know, we have a lot of local hometown heroes that play professional sports in the winter. There's one of them throwing out the first pitch. More on Jay Tatum when we come back on Bally Sports. Cardinals game today. Jason Tatum, of course, the great NBA player and Boston Celtic. St. Louis native. Of course, unfortunately, his Celts fell a little short in the NBA Finals this year. As we get you ready for the first pitch between the Cards and the Cubs. More from Danny Mac and Jimmy Evans when we come back.
'22 between these two historic franchises here at Busch Stadium. Let's take a look at Lars Nootbaar, and he is in the lineup today. Bank of America. Impressive tools. A lot of tools when you talk about Lars Nootbaar. Hitting for power, getting on base, drawing walks, the big arm in the right field, and also the speed that he has. Been fun to watch, and he'll be at the top of the lineup in game number 3 today. The Cardinals, the Cubs, in the final meeting of 2022. First pitch, starting lineups. Next.
First pitch is on pause as we're in a Helitech rain delay right now, and literally just moments ago they put the tarp back on the field, and it has just started to rain, and you can see it's coming down pretty good with the pooches in the park. at the ballpark. Back in our Ballpark Village studios, Brad Thompson and Scott Warman with you. And as we mentioned, final game of the regular season between these two teams, 18 previous matchups. And BT, the Cardinals really have had the Cubs number this year.
They have in every aspect of it. We showed the graphic earlier with the home runs. The Cardinals have hit a ton of them against the Cubbies, but the pitching has had the edge. The defense, look, the Cubs are a team that's in transition right now. They traded off all of their marquee players last year. And here's a look at some of those numbers head-to-head so far this year. And, Scotty, as you mentioned before, it has been since 1985 since the Cardinals have won 13 games in a season against the Cubbies. They're taking advantage of this team, and they should. But the thing about teams like the Cubs, the Cardinals are going to face some of them in this division, is they're still hungry, right? You got some young players, so you can't just ease into any game.
Yeah, when you look at the Cubs, obviously a team in transition when they had the big sell-off last year at the trade deadline. And really you think about their pitching, their bullpen has really been struggling here of late.
Well, the bullpen for the Cubs, they traded it.
Right.
They basically traded every piece of that bullpen. And it actually was a really good aspect of this ball club. Starting pitching for the Cubs actually has been better than most expected, too, with all of the injuries that they've had. But it's hard to keep it going throughout a season if you don't have that complete team. They're still trying to build it over there. And for the Cardinals, well, take advantage of it. If they're going to be out there, that's on your schedule. Take advantage of your schedule.
All right, so the Cardinals have won 8 of the last 10 matchups between these two teams, of course, as the Cardinals trying to ride into getting some work in October once again. But for the Cardinals, when we get forward into 2023, against the Cubs, the Reds, and other teams, well, we have a new schedule, and we're only going to see the divisional teams 13 times instead of 19 times, because now you play everybody in the American League, not just one specific division. I got to be honest with you. I know there's some people that like this out here. Here's where my reservation is about this, is you don't get to play your teams within the division. It's not because the division is weak, Brad, but I saw this especially when you go to the National Hockey League. The Blues, with expansion and everything else, only played the Blackhawks and Nashville and some of their chief rivals only 4, maybe 5 times a year instead of 8 times a year. That, to me, you can't build up a rivalry as much when you're not playing them.
You also can't build up a rivalry, though, when no team is consistently good in the division. That's been the case here with the Cardinals over the years. It seems like the rivalry continues to switch. I know we talk about it with the Cubs, and they were competitive for a few years. That's not it right now. I like it. I like the change in the division. Now, I don't know if it's going to be good for the Cardinals due to the fact that they feasted on the Cubs, the Reds, the Pirates. I mean, these are teams that have allowed them to expand their lead in the division. But from a baseball fan standpoint, I want to see Seattle and New York and Boston, these teams you don't generally get an opportunity to see.
It will be fun to see the Cards and Cubs over in London next year in June. All right, we are in a Helitech rain delay, delayed to the start of the season finale between the Cards and the Cubs. More when we come back on Bally Sports. Helitech rain delay before Game 3 of this weekend series between the Cards and the Cubs. Of course, with the Cardinals, they have had some memorable, and I mean memorable, walk-off moments against their chief rivals.
Swing and a base hit in the left center. The Cardinals win it on a base hit by Gary Bennett. Ring and a long one. Did he get enough? Get up, baby. Holy mackerel. He has done it again. A grand slam home run by Gary Bennett.
First pitch to him.
That's it.
Drive into right field. And it's a winner. A walk-off winner again for Schumacher, the home run.
Swing and a line drive base hit. Here comes Duncan. The Cardinals will win this one on a base hit by Mr. Anfield.
Asturias puts it in play. Ground ball hit to second. Play at the plate. Save! And the Cardinals win it. The Cardinals win it on the slide. Holiday. And this is gone. It gets over the wall. Welcome to the Cubs-Cardinals rivalry. Matt Holiday.
Line drive base hit. Cardinals win 2-1.
To Albert Pujols. Back goes the left fielder to the track. And Albert Pujols has won this game. This ball hit deep to left. It's got a chance. To the track. To the wall. Albert does it again. This ball gets away. Here comes the winning run. It's Chambers. And the Cardinals win it. A come-from-behind victory
a base hit. Can he do it? Yes. It's into right. Here comes Holiday. He will score. Yachty wins it 7-6.
Grichuk with a high fly ball.
Deep right field. It is gone. It's gone. Walk it off. Randall Grichuk. He wins it in the bottom of the ninth.
Ring and a shot deep to left center. The Cardinals win it on an RBI base hit by Grichuk. 4-3. The Redbirds are winners here on opening night.
And Carpenter lifts a fly ball down the left field line. This ball is down, and the Cardinals win it. Into deep right. It is down. Yachty delivers against Kimbrel.
And the 1-1.
Base hit. The Cardinals will win it. Goldie comes through. The Cardinals walk off the Cubs. 2-2. New bar base hit. Arenado being waved in. He is safe, and the Cardinals win it. Newt Bar and the Cardinals going wild.
Awesome walk-offs by the Cardinals at Busch Stadium 3. And, of course, got to start off with our buddy Gary Bennett, right?
Oh, yeah, GB. He's breaking their hearts out there. He lives in the area.
Right.
They hated him for a while.
Absolutely.
How are you not pumped up watching those things,
I know.
right?
Especially when you watch, we showed during the pregame show, watching Albert do what he did for so many years against the Cubs.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
It's going to be weird not seeing that, for sure. Not seeing Albert, obviously not seeing Yachty, and seeing this crew against the Cubs. But all good things must come to an end. But the beauty of it is right now for the Cardinals, they're playing their best baseball. Albert has been a huge contributor. Yachty is heating up right now. We know what Waino has been all year. So this storybook ending, well, it's got a chance to be real.
Yeah, you got to kind of the feel even before yesterday's game. The place, even Ballpark Village, was just packed because I think we're all starting to sense that this is it with at least Waino, maybe, but of course with him, with his buddies, Yachty and Albert Pujols, as we head down the stretch of the final month of the regular season. We are in a Helitech rain delay, waiting to start up the finale of the regular season between the Cards and the Cubs. More when we come back on Bally Sports.
Baseball on Valley Sports Midwest, brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. The logos throughout the years. The birds on the bat located just behind home plate here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. A rain delay, but we're going to get it going here for game number 3, and it's cooled things off a bit. It is 73 degrees. And with Jim Hayes, the Cardinals Hall of Famer, Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. So still, you've got the skies overhead cloudy, and hopefully the rain stays away. And the Cardinals have opened up a 7.5 game lead in the NL Central Division. Only the Dodgers at 18 games and the Astros at 10 have a larger lead of 7.5 currently for the St. Louis Cardinals. And for the Cubs, it's playing out the string, seeing what they're made of with some of the young players and thinking about 2023, and also trying to play spoiler.
I would think that would be a tough job for the Cubs management, is to, at this point, at any point for any team, not the Cubs, and I hate picking on the Cubs even though I don't really love them until I played with them for a little bit, but you get to that point of the year where you give in, right? You kind of give in to the schedule, and then who do you play? How do you play? You don't want to take anything away from the veterans, but you want to see some young talent, and you still want to win some ball games. You don't really play to lose no matter what's going on. So that's a fine line out there for them, but I'm just happy we're winning ball games.
And away we go. The largest crowd of the season was a record-setting crowd back on August 6th. It was against the Yankees. It was nearly 49,000. Last night's crowd was 47,816, second largest of the season. And the Cardinals, in terms of the highest average attendance in all of Major League Baseball, are second to the Dodgers. The Cardinals are projected to surpass the 3 million mark in season attendance for the 17th consecutive season, unaffected by the limited capacity that we had. As Miles Michaelis is on the mound for St. Louis. And Michael is trying to bounce back after a short start his last time out. And that was the start that he had against the Cincinnati Reds. So Michaelis allowed 4 runs in 4 1/3. That was Monday. Did not factor in the decision. And eventually the Cardinals pulled away and won that game 13-4. Record of 10-10. The ERA at 3.48, but 18 quality starts put together here by Miles.
Yeah, you think about that last game as you look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal. A lot of sliders, 4 seamers. He really has, I mean, you really look at him some days with, it's just barely a different style, obviously, but Adam Wainwright with a little more velocity, same type of stuff. As far as can throw any pitch at any time. He locates, he's on top of the hitters, and when he's locating, he's good. And back to his last start, 4 1/3. Don't you think if he would have known that they were going to end up scoring 13 runs, he would have tried to gut it out a little bit longer? I bet you he wishes that one. That would have been an easy win for him.
McKinstry at the top of the lineup for David Ross. Seiya Suzuki, Franmil Reyes, Ian Happ, the switch hitter, Nico Horner, Rafael Ortega, P.J. Higgins, Alfonso Rivas, and Christopher Morel. McKinstry getting a chance to play, and that's what we're talking about here with the Cubs. They acquired him from the Dodgers. You've got some of these young players, and they want to give them a little run to see what they can do.
I mean, you have to, right? At some point, that's the whole September call-up thing is there for, you know, a reason. And in some ways it can kind of give you your future, and in some ways it can kind of tell you who might be coming out the door here in the near future. So you keep an eye out for that.
McKinstry as a Cub playing in his 23rd game, hitting 197 with Chicago. And the first pitch fouled back. Michaelis, his 14th career start against the Cubs. He's 4-3 with a 2.41 ERA. And lost his last time out against Chicago at Wrigley, and it was McKinstry who had a late home run that bust that game wide open. He's 1 for 6 against Miles, and hits a fly ball out to left. Racing over, Dickerson with room. He's got it, and the first out. So Andrew Kisner is behind the plate for the Cardinals today. Yachty had back-to-back starts in games 1 and 2. And our Dobbs around the horn with Arenado, Edman, Gorman, and Goldie on the infield. The outfield features Dickerson, O'Neill, and Newbar.
Pretty good little defensive outfield right there. If I don't, you don't brag too much about your defense, but we got a good one. And no matter who you throw out there.
Here's Seiya Suzuki. And the first pitch taken for a strike. In his last 16 games, hitting .375 with 5 doubles and a home run. He's got 88 hits, second in the National League among rookies. He's tied with Brendan Donovan, and leading the way it's Michael Harris, the center fielder of Atlanta, with 94 hits for the rookies. And the 0-2.
Good movement on that fastball. That's why I think that's so awesome for a guy like this and Waino to be paired up together, learn so much from each other. And Miles has good movement. Can you imagine if he can just feed off of what Adam does to certain hitters, and when to use that sinker late in the count, when to throw like the cutter like Adam used last night. He tried to throw the cutter. He threw a cutter outside that kind of just cut back for a strike that a guy thought was going to be a sinker. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to attack hitters, and what a great 2 guys to just feed off each other. I think it's awesome to watch.
I like how the ball is coming out of his hand today. He's got good velocity too.
Good velocity. He's on top of the ball. You see, that's where you get the movement.
Little tapper back to Michaelis on the 3-2, and on number 2.
Danny, this is my Toyota key to the game. Get back on track for Miles. You talked about how he only went 4 1/3, but the team scored 13 runs, so he needs to get back on track, and it looks like he's doing pretty good so far. And I kind of like it, like you said, ball's jumping out of his hand a little bit, and I'm no hitter kind of stuff. You never know. Somebody was talking about that over my shoulder earlier today, and now that he's sitting next to me, we'll see what happens.
Don't jinx it, Jimmy.
It's okay. They're tough to come by.
You jinxed it. One hop off the wall, and
I thought you jinxed it when we walked in today and said he's going to throw a no-hitter. So
no, sir. Only in the game.
I am still in shock from the one last night. Was Cease in a 1-1 count and 2 outs in the 9th and hung a slider and lost his no-hitter. He's so close.
So the double off the bat of Reyes. He is now hit in 21 of 25 games with the Cubs. Here's Ian Happ hitting .242 against the Cardinals this season. But he has 7 doubles of his 36 against St. Louis. On the year, 53 extra base hits. And that's the most since Dexter Fowler for the Cubs in 2015. He had a big night last night against Wainwright. He's got his number. The 1-0 pitch fouled back, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Isn't it crazy? You know, you look at numbers and they're numbers for a reason and you can't explain it.
Just certain guys have your number.
You start to see more than maybe 10 at bats, you know, even 10, 15 at bats. You see a guy with 5 or 6 or 7 hits. You're like, what's going on with this?
Michaelis to the bag and the out, and the Cubs strand a runner. We move to the home half of the first. Nootbaar, the rookie Donovan, the DH today, and Goldie. No score. Cardinal lineup featuring Lars Nootbaar at the top, then Brendan Donovan and Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Corey Dickerson, Tyler O'Neill, Nolan Gorman, Andrew Kisner, and Tommy Edman. Only the Dodgers have scored more runs this season in the National League than St. Louis. Offense has come alive, and they have had the number of Marcus Stroman.
Yes, they have. I was looking at this thing. Got 6 guys on this team with a 300 or better average against Stroman. 2 of those guys 350 and 380.
Popped up on the first pitch off the bat of Nootbaar to the third baseman Morel and 1 away.
And 2 more of those guys hitting above 430. So a lot of at bats against Stroman here for this team. So really no excuses today, huh?
And the Cardinals have been striking early. 91 first inning runs, second in the National League. And here is Brendan Donovan. He's hit safely in 13 of 15 games against the Cubs. They can't get him out. 373, 3 doubles, a home run, a triple, and he's driven in 11. And today playing in his career game number 100.
And all of that, and he doesn't have an at bat against Stroman yet.
It's backhanded by the shortstop Nico Horner, and that'll be out number 2. Ian Happ in left field. We saw that diving catch last night. He's a good one. Ortega in center, Suzuki in right. Around the horn presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Morel, Horner, McKinstry, Rivas on the infield, Higgins behind the plate. Good numbers for Goldie against Stroman. 7 for 15, 3 home runs. He's got 7 homers this year against the Cubs. A home run hit last night, the 2-run shot to give him 107 runs batted in this year. And that's the most since Albert Pujols had 118 in 2010. And the 0-2 pitch.
Oh.
And the 118 was the 10th year in a row that Albert had driven in 100 or more.
Unbelievable.
10 consecutive years.
That's how you get to 1,000 in a hurry. 10 years in a row.
Amazing.
His average here was 320s, averaged 30 home runs, scored 100 and drove in 100 for the 10 years he was here. It's unbelievable.
Base hit into left center.
And this guy can hit.
Goldie thinking two on his way to second. The throw is not in time. And a 2-out double for Paul Goldschmidt. And for Goldie, double number 35.
Tell you what, you can tell by some of those swings and the take, he is just right back to being locked in. It's a pretty impressive. No stride, just put the foot a little sideways, let the bat go.
Well, Stroman against the Cardinals, 17 earned runs, 5 home runs in 15 2/3 this year. And here's Nolan Arenado with 2 outs. His last 14 games, he's driven in 10 with 14 extra base hits.
You know, they got to get going is Gorman. You add him to this list with the way Dickerson and O'Neill are starting to heat up.
Watch out.
I mean, it's just one of those young men that, you know, the consistency of playing every day against good pitching, which it was the same thing Carlson went through a little bit. Came in, played pretty well, and then started to get those pitches you don't see in AAA, which is the cutters in at any, at any time, up or down in the count. A lot of pitches off the plate, chase pitches. You got to just kind of slow himself down.
2-0 into shallow left center. The shortstop wants it, calls for it. And that's Nico Horner. Double number 35 for Goldie. Left stranded, no score. Here at Busch Stadium, a lot of the pooches being shown on the video board, and we say good afternoon to the Cat.
Cat, are you safe down there with all those dogs?
Pretty safe. The Cards, as you know, are getting production up and down their lineup. They're getting some pop too, and it's not just from the middle of the batting order. Tommy Edman has 5 homers over his previous 11 games. He told me the uptick in power wasn't the goal. He said, I'm definitely not trying for that. I've been working on getting a better path to the ball and being a little quicker with my bat, so I'm able to get out in front a little better, but I'll certainly take it. Danny, Tyler O'Neill, 6 homers in his previous 11. It's no wonder the Cards have been scoring runs in bunches.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. And
great job, Cat.
You think about since August 23rd, this is Nico Horner at the plate. So if you look at Nootbaar, Dickerson, O'Neill, and Edman, and we're not talking about Albert Pujols, we're not talking about Arenado, not talking about Goldie, but these guys since the 23rd of August with 56 hits. And a fly ball into right. Nootbaar is there. 29 have been extra base hits, 16 home runs. So to follow up on what Jim was saying, it's others that are contributing in a big way.
Well, I think and my thing too is Tommy Edman. I mean, he's a star as it is on this team as far as I'm concerned. He does everything. He plays wherever you want him to play. Play the outfield. He can play anywhere in the infield. And he can hit and he can run, but he's starting to gather the information of how to hit the ball the other way, how to stay on the ball a little bit better. And when he starts doing that, look out.
Little ground ball hit to Arenado. Ortega retired for the second out. MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Busch Stadium. Buy and manage game tickets, unlock offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. P.J. Higgins will be the batter. We had Ozzie in the booth last night, and I didn't even say anything. Ozzie said, that guy right there talking about Tommy Edman, he could play with our teams. He'd fit right in.
Perfect. It's perfect. Old school baseball. You can hit, you can run, bunt, play defense.
Multiple positions.
Steal bases. Really think about it. I mean, they're really with a little bit of power now all of a sudden. I'm telling you, he's going to hit 20. This field's going to be tough. He's going to be more consistent on the road maybe as far as home runs, but he's got 20 home run power, especially after the way he hit that ball last night. But there really isn't anything that he can't do if you really think about it and do it well. I mean, he's not going to be a 260 hitter. He's going to hit 280 to 290. If he doesn't hit 300, I'd be shocked soon. And if he didn't probably have that little bit of a rough patch, he would definitely be in the 280s, 290s now.
The 2-1 pitch. Fouled back 2-2.
Danny, I'll still go back to that day in spring training. You were in the booth doing the road game in Houston. His first year. It was at the end. He had been sent down. Tommy had been sent down. I was standing in the dugout, and he played short, and he went across the middle, and he dove, and it was probably the third time, and it was a nothing game at the end of spring, and I just said, man, this kid, he can play.
Here's a ground ball deep in the hole, backhanded by the shortstop, Tommy Edman, with his 18 defensive runs saved coming into play today. Corey Dickerson, big numbers against Stroman, leads it off. Farina Pooches in the ballpark.
There he is.
Now the nickname is the Cat, but Jim loves dogs, and he put out a great picture earlier on his Twitter feed about the fun that folks were having on the warning track with their dogs and the parade of dogs coming through. Here's Stroman against Dickerson. Dickerson is 19 for 44 with 5 doubles, 3 home runs against Stroman. And this year against the Cubs overall, he's hitting .571.
Should have let him off today, huh? Let him get as many at-bats as he can.
Man, oh man. What a second half it's been for him.
Oh, it's the reemergence of Corey Dickerson, because if he was going to go the way he was going at the beginning, he was going to have trouble finding something to do next year. And man, he has really played well in the second half, like you said.
And it's 2 balls and no strikes. His last 12 games, 21 for 45. It's a .467 average. 4 doubles, a triple, a home run. You got to look at the stance there. Jimmy, what have you seen that has changed with him, and it's now 3-0?
Well, it's funny is I think you've seen him change his stance in the bat up there like Goldie, but he didn't do it and start getting hot. He just did this last couple, maybe a week after his 10 for 10. He's kind of gone into this little, I think he's trying to stay upright a little bit more. We talked about that with Albert last night.
Swinging with authority, too. You know, you could throw a fastball earlier this season by him, it seemed like.
Wasn't getting to it.
And not anymore. It's a fastball, he's doing some damage.
I felt like, if you think about what you just said, too, if you think back, it almost like he was pulling the bat through the zone. Now he's swinging it.
Softly hit left side and under the glove of Morel. Would have been a do-or-die play potentially, and the Cardinals have their second base runner. Put the ball in play, good things happen.
Never know. I mean, if you're trying to start a rally, get on base, you got to put the ball in play. That's just not going down for the ball right there. He's got the cat whiskers right there on his cheeks. Little meow.
That'll be an error on Morel, who has played all over the diamond for Chicago. A lot of outfield, and now at third base. And this has been fun to watch. The emergence again of Tyler O'Neill, and he went back-to-back last night with Tommy Edman. When he hits him, he hits him.
Bomb. How deep our defense is right here with him hitting. He's got all or nothing, and they're way back there.
You played a very shallow center and took a lot of hits away, but I think the mindset is, look, if it gets over my head, it's probably a home run anyway.
Well, for sure, how deep, especially the center fielder is with Ortega, and he's 5 steps from the wall, running steps. It also too, I don't know if you've noticed this, and I've noticed a little bit, but it's with a lot of things, right? You move stuff around, whatever, at your house, whatever, but you create more of an angle. Obviously, from the center fielder to be so deep. Look how much more. We can get to it in a second, but I'm talking at you, Danny. How much more outfield it looks like in the gaps because he's not,
sure,
a little closer. It's almost like they tell you when you lead off. If you lead off further away, like backwards towards right field from first base, it looks like you're further away than you are. So if you're running, you want to kind of be even with the bag or even a little bit closer because it's the appearance. And so the appearance when looking at this outfield looks like there's grass everywhere, like you can't miss. That's the opposite of what I was trying to do. I wanted it to look like there was no way you were going to be able to hit a ball that would stay in the air more than a couple of seconds without it getting caught. And that goes for all the guys out there with, when you're playing, not just yourself.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. O'Neill drives it out to left, and it is caught, held on to by Ian Happ sliding. Looked like it was ready to pop out of the glove, but stays in, and he makes another fine play in left field.
That's a great play. Danny, we get a chance to see this replay. Great play, great route. I didn't think this ball was going to get caught. Look, he is off and gone. Little snow cone action.
Yeah.
It's tough when you're running that hard. That's when that ball starts to bounce around on you a little bit. Your feet are bouncing. Good play. Really good play. Thought no way he was going to catch up to that.
There's Nolan Gorman with a runner at first, Dickerson, and one out. A check on Corey. He's got a very short lead at first. Hour and a half rain delay, you wouldn't know it. This place is packed. Sometimes you get those delays and people say, well, okay, we made an effort. We're going to go home. Nope,
No.
Not today.
Too many places to hide here and come back when it's dry. I was surprised because when it was first a delay, it wasn't raining super hard. But people were just sitting out there. Like, man, it's part of it. We're getting wet.
Yeah.
Then it started raining hard, and then people kind of moved up, and you can see everyone just kind of picking an area to stand and wait. And they're here to watch.
And the 0-1 pitch to Nolan Gorman. Cardinals 15-2 in their last 17 at home. It's been an exciting brand of baseball. The offense has outscored the opposition 130-70 in winning 16 of their last 20. And the 0-2 instead of check on Dickerson. I've been talking with folks that have been around here, Jimmy, in the front office for a long, long time. And I'm not talking about baseball operations people, but those that are in ticket sales, marketing with the St. Louis Cardinals.
Look at that outfield grass.
And the 0-2 pitch now to Nolan Gorman. Off the glove, into center. Dickerson to third.
That's a great read by Dickerson right there.
Cubs defense letting down Marcus Stroman, but the point of what I was about to say is that they can't remember a time that we've had this kind of excitement since probably 04, and then prior to that 98, and prior to that a long time. This is a fun brand of baseball, and that's ruled a base hit.
How about that? That was basically a foot race between the second baseman and Corey Dickerson to get to third base in time.
But speaking of guys that have picked it up, Andrew Kisner.
Yep.
Much better here in the second half.
He needed that too. And he was doing pretty well, catching pretty well, and everything he was hitting was getting caught. Even when he was hitting the ball well, he was making outs. And so it's good to see him starting to kind of get some hits to fall.
Kisner hitting .296 since the All-Star break. Real Muto is hitting .317, Stallings .299, and then Andrew Kisner. Season average at .230. Third baseman Morel moving way in. Runner goes.
Ooh, good
and
idea.
line foul.
Such a good swing too right there. To see that, I mean, it just looks like a new guy. Trying to shoot the ball to right field. He balls away.
That was Stroman on the mound. Base stealers 7 of 10. Higgins behind the plate is 2 for 13 this year. Kisner 8 for his last 21. 381 the average. And the 1-1 pitch to Andrew. Off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike.
It was a 1-4-2 to the plate, so that's probably why they don't have a whole lot of success throwing guys out.
Big crowd ready to make some noise here on this Sunday at Busch. 2 balls 1 strike. Runners at the corners. Only 1 down. The next. Hits softly up the third base line. Out there. Dickerson to the plate, and he is out. The Cubs get 2. Healthcare injury report. Maybe the Cat will give us more on this coming up in our ball game, but this is exciting. Steven Matz 15-day IL, and so he's going to begin a rehab assignment in Springfield beginning on Tuesday, and then the idea is to put him in the bullpen, and that could be another big weapon for the Cardinals coming out of the pen. Last time we saw him was against Cincinnati and probably pitched his best game of the season, and then had the tear in the knee.
And that's another veteran you can trust out of the bullpen and can give you some innings. Although it's probably going to be tough to build him up, but got to figure it out. It's the problem this time of the year. There's really nowhere to go to rehab, right?
Yeah. Well, the minor league season this year for AAA will extend and be in conjunction with the major league season. So it's the first time they've done that. Because of that problem in the past, if you're going to not have the expansion of rosters so those guys are with you and you can only go to 28, they expanded the minor league season. You don't want to have somebody get injured and then have to go to your minor leagues and call on somebody that's
hasn't played for
2 weeks. Yeah. This is Alfonso Rivas. You'd see that Ollie was a bit frustrated with that play with, I think, on both ends. The ground ball with Dickerson, and then Dickerson being thrown out at the plate. Yeah, he wasn't happy. Take that chance. Wants him to be safe, obviously. But did he go down the line enough to make sure that he was? And the answer was no.
Yeah, I didn't really notice anything special for him to run there. He didn't look like he was following the third baseman down. On that play, it's
that's the key. He's got to follow him down the line.
Where you know, if you just chop her down the third base line and third baseman goes, you go as far as he goes. And if you don't, it's going to be a tough play and a tough read to get home safely.
Christopher Morel hitting .245 with the 13 home runs, and he's driven in 36. And the first pitch off the plate for a ball. Slow breaking ball in. Wainwright and Molina made their 323rd career start as battery mates last night, 1 shy of the all-time major league record of 324. That was set nearly 50 seasons ago. They're projected to tie that record this Thursday against Washington, and then break the record against the Brewers if everything falls into play, and that would be on Wednesday, September 14th. So this Thursday, chance to see some history. Come on out to the ballpark, and those two will be the battery mates. Amazing.
Wonder if they're made up after last night.
Yachty told him, he said, hey, you didn't have great stuff and we need to get you out.
Get out of there. Giving him a hug, and the manager's trying to tell him you're done, and he's not happy, and Yachty's making fun of him. Some
this
days,
time of the year, you buy some innings, not necessarily the worst thing.
Yeah, some days that locker room can be unforgiving.
2-2 pitch in the air out to deep left center. Under it, Dickerson. Out number 2. While we have a moment, quick word from Tickets for Less.
Tickets for Less, for a better ticketing experience. Best seats, best prices, and no surprises at checkout.
So they will tie Mickey Lolich and Bill Freehan on Thursday.
You know something I found out not too long ago with these two? They spend so much time together. Yachty now likes country music.
Really?
Yeah. He said we got there were a couple times we traveled over the years. They made me get on the bus with them, from the airport. And so I got on the bus and
actually you forced your way on that bus. But that's okay.
I sat next to Adam and he goes, "Listen to this." And I said, "What?" He goes, "Yachty's got his boombox, his stereo." And I said, "Oh boy, here comes his Latin music." He goes, "No, he likes country now." And he turned on country music and off we went.
Those two have become the best of friends off the diamond. And off the mound, Michaelis.
Toe tap.
Tommy Edman coming up. No score. Best coverage in the game. Check out the T-Mobile coverage cam.
Pooches in the park.
The Purina Pooches in the park.
That is one slobbery mess. One big dog.
Buck Laughlin would be very proud of a day like today. One of the great announcers in sports and certainly in Best in Show. And the first pitch to Tommy Edman is taken for a ball. I mean, Buck could break down any type of situation with Best in Show, and truly one of the greats in sports broadcasting.
I think Tony La Russa would be excited about today.
Sure would. One ball and one strike.
Almost feel as if he didn't have his hand in starting this Pooches in the park thing. If I didn't know any better.
Inside. Tommy, an extra base hit in 6 consecutive games. That's the longest active streak in baseball. Last Cardinal was 7 or more was Paul DeYoung back in 2018. And the 2-1 pitch to Tommy Edman. Foul back.
You notice the difference in his swing too. He doesn't swing and miss a lot, and when he struggles, those balls like that, he rolls over to second base. You see he's kind of staying inside it a little bit better, and when you do that and you miss, you foul pitches back because he's waiting a little bit longer.
So letting it get a little bit deeper.
Better deep. Ball gets by you a little bit. That's a good thing. Hit the ball the other way, especially when you're behind in the count. Definitely helps with staying out of ground balls and rolling over to second base.
And the 3-2. Edman hits it the other way. Diving stop. The throw not in time, and a base hit for Tommy Edman.
Like that. That is such a good swing for him.
See him attack the baseball right now from even that side of the plate.
Yeah, you notice though also the defense now isn't playing him so much to pull.
Yes.
But watch the swing right here, Danny. This is different, even a different swing. It's almost a one-handed where he was tying himself up and he goes around the ball with both arms, both hands. Right there, that's just a nice, easy swing, throwing your hands at the ball. Great swing.
Very light rain right now here at the ballpark. Here's Lars Nootbaar. Pop down on the first pitch. Swinging again at the first pitch.
That's letting it get deep right there.
That's a little too much.
A little deep.
That's basically out of Higgins' glove.
Yes. That got so far deep that when the catcher closes, snapped the glove at the ball.
And a check on Tommy Edman. 26 stolen bases. He's got 5 of the 26 against Chicago. Nootbaar .419 on base percentage. His last 17 games. In a variety of ways too, hitting the ball over the wall, the 10 extra base hits. He's driven in 14. He has scored 17 runs. So
look at this
production.
Look at this defense right here. If he runs, it's going to be a race to second base with the second baseman. But also, if it's a soft ground ball to third, they're going to have trouble getting someone to second base in time too. That's kind of as far away as you'll see a second baseman or a shortstop play away from second base in a shift. See right here, second in the league in stolen bases. This could really give the defense some fits right here.
Nootbaar, I like that idea too.
And you got to get that down.
Oh. Win today will give the Cardinals 13 wins over the Cubs in the season series, and the most since the '85 National League champion Cardinals went 14-4 against Chicago. They've been 500 or better for now 5 consecutive seasons against the Cubs. And Nootbaar caught looking with a breaking ball, and the first strikeout for Stroman.
Just right at the bottom of the zone. Really didn't even go down, I think, as much as he thought it was going to go down. You know, started off low and didn't really just, wasn't the big breaking ball that you expect.
And now it's Brendan Donovan. Bunting and pushed it foul. Well, you were saying the other day, why can't guys bunt? And this is bunting for a hit.
Well, and I was
a little different.
Yeah, I was taught by Rod Carew. If you square up to bunt the ball correctly and you place it, you can't be thrown out. And so you can't rush. Bring that back leg forward like you're going to bunt for a sacrifice at the last second, bunt the ball, and then run. A lot of guys think they need to run as soon as they square around, and it just gets you out of the box, and there's no way you can time up the baseball that way.
And the 0-1 pitch with a steady rain now falling. And a strike. 0-2 the count. Marcus Stroman will take part in the upcoming World Baseball Classic. He's going to pitch for Team Puerto Rico. Runner goes at Edman, and a ground ball hit right side. Getting back to the bag at first, Rivas. And Tommy advancing to second base. Well, tomorrow, thanks to your Quality Ford dealers, purchase of a special themed ticket, take home an exclusive Cardinals cap designed by St. Louis artist and native Brock Seals, and a pregame heritage celebration in the Budweiser Terrace African American Heritage Day here at the ballpark. Cardinals.com/theme. Goldschmidt a double to left center, first time up, his 35th of the year. Fouled back in a big rip. This year is the 4th time in his career he's topped 100 runs batted in. His best was in 13. He was second in the MVP at 125. So the runner at second, Tommy Edman. With 2 outs and runners in scoring position, he's hitting .391. And the 0-1. With the double back in the first, he's now 8 for 16 against Stroman. In the hole, 0-2. Outfield deep, straight away. And got him with the breaking ball. A couple of strikeouts in the inning. Cardinals strand their 3rd runner, and we move to the 4th, scoreless. The Angie homestand will continue tomorrow. The first of 4 against the Washington Nationals. And we'll have it for you on Bally Sports Midwest. Cardinals then go out to Pittsburgh, only 3 games. Then the off day on Monday. Couple of games against Milwaukee, and then on the 14th, note that game. That's the potential record-setting game with Yadi and Waino. Get those tickets now. And if you're even thinking about coming to the final 3 games at home against the Pittsburgh Pirates, we say get your tickets now. We truly mean it. It is going to be absolutely sold out. Basically standing room only. There's some tickets available, but if you're thinking about doing it, do it right now.
Don't wait.
No, I mean, you can't. You're going to run out of tickets. Suzuki, diving stop. Edman gets up. Got him. It's an incredible play by Tommy Edman to his left. Couple of hops to his left and makes that play.
What do you, I mean,
wow.
Okay, so it's not third base today, it's shortstop. Turn to play
second.
defense.
Man, oh man, what a play. It's one of the best he's made this year.
Did you see the scoreboard?
Jimmy, I was watching the field, but you grabbed my arm in the
After
middle
that.
of it. What was going on? Tell me about it.
It was the highlight in the scoreboard. It showed your face with this crazy look on it with the paper going back and forth like, wow. I've never seen that before.
Oh, that's
one of your little promos?
No, that was from a commercial a couple years ago I did.
It's awesome.
And they took out that part where I have the paper and I go,
That's the first
whoa.
time I've seen it.
Oh yeah, every once in a while it pops up. Franmil Reyes with a double to left field, first time up. Hit down the left field line, but pulled foul. And a nice play made by a fan down the left field line. And a count of 2-2. Fastball missed. It's already 7 ground ball outs from Michaelis.
Well, it's been really down on, like you said early on. It's on top of the ball. Kind of like we talked about Jordan Hicks. When you see him get on top of the ball, everything kind of goes down. He gets a little movement. Slider goes down. The curveball sharper. Only now, his last couple pitches have been up in the zone.
And a 3-2. Spoiled by Reyes, who's made an impression here with the Cubs. You know he's got power and he's been hitting well. He's had a 30 home run campaign before in his career. Steady rain falling here at the ballpark. And the 3-2 pitch. Grounder foul. I can hear the dogs barking right now. Perina Pooch is in the ballpark.
I think they see the cat on the prowl.
Maybe so.
Dogs are getting a little feisty.
Ninth pitch of the at bat coming up right here. 3-2 again. And he walked him. Don't miss Budweiser Bash Tuesday, September 13th in the Budweiser Terrace, and Hall of Famer Jim Cott will be there. Purchase a theme ticket, receive a bobblehead, a special VIP theme ticket, gain access to an exclusive pregame autograph session. Tickets at cardinals.com/budbash. Happ has hit into 9 ground ball double plays, and he's had a very solid season at the plate. Rounded out his first time up. He's got a career high in hits, extra base hits, doubles, total bases, runs scored. Very good year. A lot of talk around the Cubs that with 1 year remaining on his deal that they would trade him at the deadline. Didn't happen. Nothing in 2.
Funny, you get the right-hander out of there and all of a sudden back on top, downhill. That sinker right there, that fastball right there, just like a little arrow, just straight over the top, down angle, right on the corner.
Shift on the right side.
He's working pretty quick too. Maybe trying to get out of the rain.
Definitely a steady rain right now, and the ponchos and the umbrellas out. And the 0-2 pitch to Ian Happ. Just trying to punch it the other way against that shift.
Getting a little wet out there.
They did bring out a new Raboski, which is for the spikes of the pitcher, and as Al will tell you, the only thing they've done since they lowered the mound for the pitcher is that, and it doesn't even work.
Oh, look at that curveball. I think the only thing that stopped him from missing that was he threw it short. He didn't throw like the big hook. He just kind of flipped it in there. That was interesting. He backed that up with 93 on the inside corner with some run.
0-2, right, just like that. Doesn't get the call. Chevy pitch tracks. And it's 2-2. So left-handed batter, and Goldie back a step or 2 from Reyes, not holding him on. And the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball could be 2. Arenado, Edman, turn, got him. Double play. 5-6-3 double play in the 132nd turn by the Cardinals. The Budweiser what's on tap? Arenado, Dickerson, and O'Neill. Off yesterday with home run, or rather, excuse me, hit number 1,500. And the active players with 15 or 100 more hits under the age of 32. What a group. Manny Machado, Mike Trout, and Nolan Arenado. 3 potential Hall of Famers. 0 for 1.
Wasn't you asking me the other day how many Hall of Famers that I'd, with these guys, would I have played with over my career?
I did not, but someone did tell me.
I was trying to think about it, and I just heard you say that, so it made me start thinking about it again.
And what came to mind?
Well, that fly ball that he is not happy with right now. He's just missed a few pitches the last 2 days, and you can tell it's just a tick behind.
Nick Scott is headed to the Hall of Fame next year. Larry Walker is in.
Ricky Henderson played with him for a year. I'm trying to think, not a lot. I mean, if
they're few and far between, man.
Scott gets in, and these three get in. I mean, there's 4 guys right there, and pretty much my whole time here in St. Louis. You know what I was thinking about the other day is how many I played against and played well against, which I kind of like for my own sake. You know what I mean? And how many more guys should be in there or could be in there, even though like the Clemens thing and Schilling thing.
There's Dickerson, who reached on an air first time up. Since the trade deadline, the Cardinals 24-7. Padres 16-14. Milwaukee 13-17. The Hader deal had a negative effect on that team.
I don't understand that. I really don't. You have to remember the one thing. Unless something really negative is going on in that clubhouse, when you trade a guy like that, you're tearing the clubhouse apart. Tearing the personnel apart. And the
morale
brotherhood
of the team.
Yeah, the brotherhood of it. That's as big on everyone's plate as anything else.
Dickerson goes the other way. How in the world did he hit that? On his way to second base, and the Cardinals have their second double. How in the world did he hit that?
He doesn't get thrown out going to second.
Wow.
He'll be fine. This is just good hitting right here, and it happens if you do everything correct. And it's just went down and stayed inside it. You know, Rod Carew used to say the lower the ball is, the more you have to stay inside it. And that is it right there. Just hit it before it hits the ground.
Choked up on the bat.
The catcher just put his head down like, you kidding me?
Hitting close to 600 this year against the Cubs. So 1 out runner at second, and now Tyler O'Neill. Cardinals 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position today. 5 for 13 in the series. One ball and one strike. Cardinals have won 17 of the last 19 at home. 44-22 at Busch Stadium this year. 5th best home mark in baseball.
It's a really good pitch right there, but it is not a strike. Good take.
You get the 4 starting tomorrow with a Nationals team that's been dismantled. Go to Pittsburgh and then back home. The 2-1 pitch. And it's 2-2. We had almost 48,000 here last night. The view from section 139, and the camera Phil Nichols of our crew.
That guy's everywhere, isn't he?
Works hard. 2-2. Got him. Strikeout number 3 for Marcus Stroman. Tomorrow, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older take home one of 2 exclusive Cardinals patriotic bucket hats. You don't know which one you're going to get until you walk through the gates of Busch. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Kind of like that. Not quite like that.
How about the one on the right? The little see-through plastic bag hoodie. That's going to be the next giveaway.
The poncho.
Plastic bag hoodie.
That's it out of play, and this is Nolan Gorman.
Look at that thing. That's awesome.
That was a giveaway one year. The ponchos.
Look at this right there. Got a Cubs fan and a Cardinals fan sitting next to each other. Got a Cubs jersey on with a Cardinals poncho. Conflicted.
Stroman didn't like that baseball, throws it out. This is I would have to say, a friendly rivalry with the Cubs and the Cardinals and the fans. And the 0-1 pitch here to Nolan Gorman, who's sitting on 13 home runs. Changeup. Seen a lot of those. A lot of changeups.
You can see why. Just a little bit of leak. Just leak a little bit, and so you don't want to attack him with a fastball. It's one of the things he's dead on. See, that pitch is the same. See the swing right there? Just a little, just a blunt to go out and get it a little bit out in front. Take a look right here, Danny. Just look at the little bit quick with the hips right there, and then see the feet, how they move. Those feet start to move, then the hips move, and then the whole body starts to go. And what you couldn't see from that angle was all that movement is actually going towards first base. It's not going all towards the pitcher. Great camera work, guys.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Outfield is deep. Runner at second, Corey Dickerson, scoreless. Breaking ball taken outside. Kisner on deck.
That's the thing too. You can get away with that at lower levels, and it's something we talked about before with Dylan and all these other guys. Is eventually they're going to say, okay, well, that's great. He's got power. He's this, but can he hit this pitch? And then they throw it until you can't hit it. And then they throw something else. So you start just seeing off speed all the time, but you normally would see a fastball in that situation in AAA.
Back-to-back Ks. We move to inning number 5.
Cardinals lead baseball in most of the important offensive categories since the All-Star break. Home runs per game, home runs per game, OPS. Hitting coach Jeff Albert told me it's really not something that suddenly clicked. He told me it's not like there's a switch that you flip. It's really a lot of work over a long period of time. Albert told me it starts with a talented group of players that aren't afraid of putting in the work. And now we've been together longer and have a better understanding of what makes each guy successful and what routine works best for each player to get them prepared for the game. Danny, whatever they're doing right now, it's working. Because outside of today, and we're still early in this game, we've seen a lot of offense from the Cardinals.
So since the break, Jimmy, just to further the numbers you're giving, the Cardinals, and this is in all of Major League Baseball, first in average, homers, on-base percentage, slug, OPS, runs per game. Not too shabby.
No.
You're going to win some games, you do that. And they're getting good pitching, and the bullpen has been shored up as well. So that combination has given the Cardinals a lot of wins. And trying to get number 79 here today. They're 78-55 and have opened up a 7.5 game lead. 5th inning, Nico Horner, Rafael Ortega, and P.J. Higgins against Miles Michaelis. And the first pitch is taken for a ball. Horner fly to right, first time up. The 1-0 pitch. In for a strike. The wild card standings right now, Braves, Padres, Phillies would be in. Milwaukee, we were talking about them. They're 2.5 back of the Phillies for that final wild card spot. Nootbaar going back. First out.
I like that Horner right there. I think he's a good player. He's going to be a good player too.
This is a good year.
This year is his first year really playing full time. The 3 years prior, he only had about a total of almost just 100 games in 3 years. So finally getting his chance. This looks like a good-looking player. Both sides of the ball.
As well as the Yankees started and had a 15.5 game lead, it's cut to 4 at the start of play against Tampa Bay. The Cardinals are one back of the New York Yankees in terms of wins this year. Think about that, the way that the Yankees played. And when they came into St. Louis, they were 16-16 in that stretch of baseball just over a month. So they're right at 500. They were swept out of St. Louis, and they have not been the same team. And right now, 4-game lead with a lot of pressure of that city weighing on their shoulders.
And also, too, did you see my pick for early on at the All-Star break? Atlanta is now within 1.5 games of the Mets. And that's going to be a battle to the end. It's going to be a good one.
Jordan Montgomery, and a lot of people around baseball wondering why the Yankees gave him up, and they're needing some help pitching wise. And David Ross, I think, is saying, did it hit the glove of Kisner? Catcher's interference. I believe that's what he's asking.
It was kind of a weird, a lot of little noises at the same time.
Not even close. So it hit the bat, then the glove, and in real speed. You can understand where a manager says, now hold on, but no, that's clearly the right call. It's a foul ball. The American League wild card has Tampa Bay, Seattle, and Toronto, with the Orioles a game and a half back. And so many around baseball are hopeful to see Baltimore, a team that's fallen on hard times, get in. The underdog story of the Orioles. Now, if you're a manager, you can say, hey, will you please ask the others that are on the field?
He did that too, and you also see what he said to the umpire. I appreciate that. Like, he talked him into it. They stopped. I don't understand what he really is asking here, because
again, in real time, it's so fast, and his video crew will tell him, hey, that was a foul ball.
Yeah, I get it, and I understand. And I was wondering, like, at what point when you're out there in that little bit of a talk, does someone just not yell at you, come on back, you're wrong, you know? All good.
There's a 1-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. And for Michaelis, his first strikeout of the afternoon. So the Yankees got off to just an incredible start the first 3 months. Then July hit 500. August 8 games below, and they are winless right now in September. The first pitch with 2 outs, nobody on, a strike to Higgins. And the 0-1. Curveball, nothing in 2.
It's a big, big breaking ball right there. That is way over your head when it comes out of the hand.
And the 0-2. Struck him out looking, never swung the bat. Back-to-back Ks for Michaelis, and we're midway through 5. Coming up for St. Louis, Kisner, Edman, Nootbaar. Scoreless at Busch. September 26th, later this month, Cardinals fans can turn a double play with the Wizard on the field. Get instruction from Ozzie, picture, autograph. Love seeing Ozzie do all those things. He's amazing. Still. The Wizard. Cardinals.com/Ozzie. Cardinals.com/Ozzie. I have had the opportunity at a fantasy camp to see him put on a clinic for about 4 or 5 of us, just a private one, and it really was one of the more incredible clinics I've ever seen. How he fields, his thought process, and then he started doing all the tricks. Incredible.
The no-look throw to first.
Oh yeah, behind the back.
Behind the back.
Bouncing the ball like a basketball off the dirt. There's Andrew Kisner. Cardinals have had the best scoring opportunity in this game. They had runners at the corners, 1 out, with Kisner at the plate. Hit a slow roller with Dickerson at third base. And it was Morel who went to Rivas at first, and then Dickerson broke, and they were able to get a double play. A count of 1 ball and 1 strike. And the next by Marcus Stroman. 1-2. Division leaders right now. The Dodgers an 18-game lead over the Padres. Cardinals 7.5. The Mets 2 in front of Atlanta at the start of play. Mets losing today, so the Cardinals win. They would be within 5 games with what, 28-29 to go before this one is through to try to get that second spot. And a swing and a miss. The strikeout of Kisner. Well, we have a moment. Quick word from Ryan Kelly.
Ryan Kelly. Can you believe this guy started his business like that, just knocking on doors?
Now he's the best in the industry. Ryan Kelly, thehomeloanexpert.com.
Stroman has struck out 3 in a row, 5 in this game. Here's Tommy Edman at the infield hit back in the 3rd inning. And through the rain, through the delay, crowd is stuck around. Big crowd on a Sunday. The 1-0 pitch in the American League. So the Yankees start to play 4-game lead. The Guardians 1 game over Minnesota. White Sox 2 back. And Seattle out west 10 back of Houston. The Mets, the Astros are second behind the Dodgers, who have 91 wins already. LA is 91-41. We'll see the Dodgers in a final long road trip of the season. San Diego, LA, and then Milwaukee. The 2-1 pitch. 3-1. Three-one pitch, Tommy Edman. 3-2.
That's like a little cutter in there that he's been throwing to him, trying to keep it in there so it doesn't run back over the plate. It's just like this, throwing it at his hands and it's just staying in there. And Tommy's waiting for it to run back and it just doesn't.
Back to Stroman. Very good athlete growing up. He was a basketball player, had knee surgery, and then dedicated his sports life to baseball. From New York, a lot of time spent with the Toronto Blue Jays after a career in college at Duke. And he went back and got his degree. Promised mom and dad, I'm going to get my degree no matter what. He was drafted, so his scholastic years were cut short. Went back and got it in the offseason. And a strike to Lars Nootbaar, who is 0 for 2. He's popped out to 3rd and struck out looking on a curveball. Nothing in 2. I really felt when you look at the numbers of Stroman that he would have been a perfect fit for the Cardinals. Went right, sinker, a lot of ground balls.
Not a bad call.
And the 0-2.
I was actually surprised looking at his numbers, all the hype, that his numbers weren't better. You know, you hear his name a lot, especially the year or 2 that he was in New York.
0-2 pitch. And Nootbaar sends it out to shallow center. Coming on to make the catch, Rafael Ortega. That's 5 in a row set down by Stroman. The Cardinals starter today And he is through 5, having struck out 2 and allowed just 1 hit. Franmil Reyes, a double. With 2 outs back in the first, he has walked 1 and a ton of ground balls. And once again, very sharp here today.
Yeah, really pitching the contact, and that's kind of how you keep the pitch count down. I mean, you look right here, it's, you know, going into the 6th inning, pitch count still in the 60s. That's, I mean, you can keep it anywhere near 10 pitches an inning. That's unheard of. So it's a good spot right here.
He's had 8 ground ball outs. Here's Alfonso Rivas. Just 1 over the minimum. At the walk in the 4th that was erased on the double play. A ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss and a strikeout. 3 in a row now for Miles Michaelis.
Nasty pitch right there. That pitch ends up in a complete unhittable zone. Looks like it's going to be a strike, and then right underneath you. Look at the downward action on that.
Nasty.
Yes, it is. Great pitch.
For Morel, fly to left first time up. He's 0 for 1. Shift on the left side, and there's strike 1. Hit into the upper deck of Busch Stadium in a packed house here at Busch. Jack Flaherty returns tomorrow for the Cardinals. 3:15 on Labor Day. Anibal Sanchez will go for the Nationals. The 0-1. I'm excited to see what Flaherty's got.
I'm with you on that. Just keep adding more people to the pot.
Michaelis 12 of 18 first pitch strikes. 0-2 the count. 9th place batter Morel fouled back. Anibal Sanchez 1-5. Quintana will go against Espino on Tuesday. All righties lined up for the Nats. Montgomery, Corey Abbott Wednesday, then Thursday the day game. Wainwright and Josiah Gray, and that day the Cardinals will see Waino and Yachty tie the all-time battery mate record for starts just off the plate, and it's 1-2. Imagine maybe a little bit bigger of a crowd for a record you probably will never ever see broken or tied again. And again, that would be Thursday, and that's a 12:15 first pitch. And they 1-2. So if you're a kid watching, maybe tell mom or dad, I need to get out of school. And Jim Edmonds said it was okay.
That was why I was going to let you finish that whole promo you were making up.
Put it on you.
Yeah.
Hey, make it a school trip. Come on down and see some history. Why not?
Maybe Brad will give you his seats.
The green seats. The 1-2 pitch. Lined into center and a base hit.
Brad's got that whole section down there sometimes.
The first hit for the Cubs since back in the first inning.
Bat died a warrior, didn't it?
He had sent down 8 in a row at one point until the walk to Reyes. He had the double play and then 5 in a row. So now it's Zach McKinstry. A shift on the right side. First pitch, a strike. Just don't see Michaelis go very deep into counts. A lot of first pitch strikes. We started this season wondering about his health. Could he make it through a full season? He has answered those questions and then some. McKinstry has not hit into a double play this season and just 4 in his career. Shift on the right side and the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball outside. Cardinals have Donovan, Goldschmidt, and Arenado coming up in their half of the 6th. 2 balls and a strike. Runner goes and the 2-1 line to left. Dickerson will make the catch. And his throw back to the bag at first, not in time. Morel back in safely, and there's 2 away. It brings in Seiya Suzuki.
Burn the palms up a little bit, that hard dirt.
Wet too. Catches you. Well, the Cubs have dropped 7 of 9. And they've gone 9-10 in their last 20 games. They've dropped their last 5 here at Busch Stadium. It is indeed another sellout here today. Crowd 46,642. 46,642. The 20th sellout of the year. And a ground ball softly hit. Arenado backhands, slings it over to first and picked by Goldie. Could tell he was in between. Do I barehand or do I use the glove? And had just enough time with the glove. We're scoreless. Authority of the Cardinals not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Rainy day here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Stroman has been outstanding, and so is Miles Mikolas. Just 2 hits. He's walked 1 on 79 pitches. And now the Cardinals have Donovan, Goldschmidt, Arenado. Brendan Donovan is grounded out to short, grounded out to second. And the first pitch is strike.
I was just I walked into the hallway just to grab a diet soda really quick, and there was a couple people in there, and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And they said, "Good." Random, and I was like, "What are you guys doing up here?" They said, "Oh, we're sitting in Brad's green seat, so we thought we would just kind of walk around," and thought it kind of came with the territory. I started laughing. I said, "If I were you, I'd be down there sitting in the seats." They go, "Great seats."
Green seats or something.
Green seats. What are you doing up here? Getting out of the rain for a minute.
Brad is so kind. And a grounder foul. Cardinals have won their last 7 series, and a win today gives them their 8th sweep of the year. Could be the 2nd sweep of the Cubs. They swept Chicago back in early August. Fly ball into left center, but there to make the catch, Ian Happ. Well, as good as and as well as Miles Mikolas has thrown the baseball, so has Marcus Stroman here today. He's been great.
Yeah, he has been. He's been moving the ball around. He's not only been throwing the sinker and his off-speed pitches, but he's also had a little tight slider slash cutter. It kind of looks like he's not making pitches up, but changing the arm angle and the break to some of his off-speed pitches. Pitching inside and outside.
Now Goldie.
Staying away from the big boys, which is smart.
Steady diet of breaking balls here for Paul Goldschmidt. And the 0-1. And another one taken just low, and it's a ball and a strike, and P.J. Higgins thought that was nothing and 2, instead evens it up. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Goldie. Got it again. That's 3 in a row. Got a bunch in the first couple of ABs.
I think he finished them with 2 in this last at bat.
Try to slip one by him, and all of a sudden it's in the seats. The 1-2. Went with it again.
Pretty good idea right there. Went out, out, out with all the sliders, and then tried to run that fastball out there and run it back, but just couldn't get it to come back.
And a 3-2 pitch to Goldie. Morel is there. High throw down on the bag. It's Rivas, and that's the second out. While we have a moment, quick word from Siteman Cancer Center.
You are someone's favorite person, and your health matters. For the lives you touch, schedule your cancer screening today.
2 outs, Nolan Arenado. 0 for 2. The first pitch.
See how he just looks a little tied up today and yesterday? Just a little tied up.
It's about ready to hit one again. The 0-1. Oh boy. Nothing in 2.
Take that swing right there, though.
Hitting .312 with 2 outs this season. Nolan Arenado, 12 home runs. The next, off the plate, 1-2. Cubs in their half of the 7th will have 3, 4, and 5. Reyes, Happ, corner coming up. We are scoreless here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The 1-2. Oh, that's the one.
Oh my God.
That's the one.
He's just a little bit behind it.
Notice in this at bat he's hung a couple to Arenado. I thought the breaking ball was a little bit sharper with Goldie. Yeah, that was the one.
Yep. Like he's just not getting the, you know, sometimes how he has that little bent arm when he swings and usually the hand gets through. It's almost like he's just not getting to the front of the zone the last couple days, getting that top hand snap that he usually gets.
And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes on Nolan Arenado. Good take, full count. The 3-2 pitch by Stroman. Arenado hits a fly ball off the end of the bat into shallow left center. Sliding catch, Ortega.
Got the cover and some ground for as deep as they're playing.
8 in a row for Stroman. Brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. By BJC Healthcare, the world's best medicine made better. And presented by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. A rainy afternoon here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And Franmil Reyes at the plate. He is double to left. Michaelis has allowed 2 hits and 1 walk, and that was to Reyes back in the 4th. We're scoreless And the first pitch.
It's a big, big boy and a big swing.
That was pitch number 80 for Miles. Popped up right side. Nolan Gorman. One away. Get ready, golf night at the ballpark Wednesday, September 7th, presented by the Ascension Charity Classic. Purchase of a special theme ticket. Fans take home an exclusive Cardinals Club head cover. Tickets, more information, visit cardinals.com/theme. And our buddies Nick Ragone and Steve Spratt ready for another great week of golf out at Norwood Hills Country Club, the Ascension Charity Classic. Jay Delsing will play into.
You said that's on
tomorrow. He'll
right?
play in. He's got to qualify, and I bet he does. The fly ball, deep left, going back. Dickerson, he's got it.
Jay's got that little restaurant out in Town and Country now, doesn't he?
He does.
I like that place. It's neat out there.
Wow Crush.
Yeah, it's that.
And Jay grew up as a guy toting the bags at Norwood Hills, and
that's fun.
Had the chance to hit the first ever tee shot at the Ascension Charity Classic as a pro. Pretty cool. There's Nico Horner with 2 outs. His father, Jay Delsing, is a former major league player. Jim Delsing. And that's grounded foul.
Pretty consistent with the pitches by inning, except for the 4th, obviously, and a little bit in the 6th, but still in a good spot. 84 after this inning right here.
Miles Michaelis, 7 scoreless with a 6-pitch inning. Coming up, Dickerson, O'Neill, and Gorman. No score here at Busch. Marcus Stroman, Cubs, Cardinals, scoreless as we move to the home half of the 7th inning. This has been fun to watch. These two going back and forth.
Guys have been spotting it up, making pitches. They literally have been going pitch for pitch pretty much. Just doing a nice job. It's nice to see guys that are just hitting their spots. Got an idea, you know, you're pitching goalie a certain way. Pitching another guy's a different way. He's pitching in when he needs to.
Eight in a row set down by Stroman. The Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Brandon Hughes, very good lefty, getting up in the pen. Dickerson has been on base twice and hits a little flare to the shortstop, Nico Horner, for the first out. 9 in a row. And the batter is Tyler O'Neill.
You know what they say, the ball's not carried short. Got to get a little rally going, huh?
And O'Neill, a knack for late inning home runs. The big late inning tight games down.
Late inning heroics.
He's 0 for 2. Fly to left and struck out. Ball 1. 7th inning. Stroman has seen a couple of home runs hit against him. That was against St. Louis at a start earlier at Busch Stadium. The 1-0. Back to him. Underhands to first, 2 away.
I think Stroman's basically just pitching off of the Cardinals' aggressiveness right now. He's staying away and staying down. And you can see a lot of the hard hit balls and a lot of the stuff that's been hitting the seats lately is all hanging breaking balls and balls up in the zone. So he's making an effort to stay right there, what he just did to O'Neill. And I believe that's the second ball O'Neal's hit like that today, isn't it? There's been a few of those, just little nubbers.
We saw Tommy Edman do that.
Yep.
Here's Nolan Gorman. The shift on the right side.
There's just no reason to challenge guys if they're going to keep swinging at everything you throw.
Two strikes. And they 0-2.
Just
1-2.
Just a bit high. Almost knocked you out of your seat. As if it was coming up here. Heads up.
The 1-2 pitch. 2-2. Andrew Kisner on deck. Hour and a half rain delay, and after that, pitcher's duel through the rain. Now clearing up just a bit here down in town St. Louis. 2-2. Put in play, back to Stroman. Underhands in a 1-2-3 inning. That's 11 in a row set down by Marcus Stroman. We're scoreless. No score as we move to the top of the 8th. What a ball game. Scoreless between the Cubs and the Cardinals. Perina pooches in the ballpark. A shift on the right side. Rafael Ortega 0 for 2, grounded out to third and struck out. Only 2 hits allowed by Michaelis. He's walked 1. He has struck out 3. The pitch, breaking ball outside. Cardinals will have Kisner, Edman, Nootbaar due up. And with a quick inning, David Ross may roll Stroman back out there for another inning. Cardinals have done that here with Miles and a strike.
I just don't, my pet peeve and the way of thinking, it's hard, especially, I mean, the Cubs in a different situation, but hard to take a guy out when he's dealing. I don't care winning or losing, tied. But all of a sudden, you're just changing the pace of the game by bringing in a bullpen guy if you don't have to.
Ryan Helsley throwing for St. Louis, and the pitch is hit into shallow right. Newt is there. And while we have a moment, quick word from Great Southern Brewer.
Being able to check your account, move money, even deposit checks on the go helps you spend less time banking and more time focusing on what really matters. Great convenience, Great Southern Bank.
P.J. Higgins with 1 out, nobody on. At some point, you got to get Helsley some work. He hasn't pitched. Figured he might be first out of the chute late innings. Higgins 0 for 2 with a ground out to short and was called out on strikes. Jimmy, this bullpen, the cat, Jim, has been rolling here lately.
Yeah, just 1 earned run over its last 29 2/3 innings. Andre Palante told me the pen is feeding off each other. He said one guy goes out there, does well, then another guy gets a day off, then that guy throws 2 innings and does well. Maybe you get the day off. When everyone is doing well, guys can stay fresh. Dan, guys are doing well.
And Jimmy, the last 7 games, they've given up the bullpen a total of 1 earned in 29 2/3. It's a .30 ERA. The bullpen record 4-0, and the most wins, lowest ERA over that span in all of baseball. So to your point, they're getting the job done.
Yeah, they are, and I think that's a great analogy of what they were saying. And what the Cat was saying is basically, you go do your job, and then somebody else will pick you up, and then and so on and so on. And it's been a while since we heard from the Cat. I'm just glad he's okay with all those pooches out there, dogs chasing him. Can you imagine?
He's tough. Curveball and a beauty. Milwaukee is down 2-0 in Arizona. That's in the 5th. Dalton Varsho with his 20th home run. Zach Allen making that start for Arizona. Jason Alexander for Milwaukee. We'll keep an eye on that. 0-2 the count here on Rivas. Hughes has continued to throw in the bullpen for the Cubs. He's a lefty, and that means if he comes in, you're talking about bottom of the lineup, potentially Albert. We'll see. The 0-2. Fastball just missed. And the 2-2 to Rivas is tapped foul. If you're Michaelis, you're thinking, give me one more pitch. Give me one more. And call it a day.
Well, I think he's got plenty in the tank, so he can reach back here and get after whatever he wants to.
And this soft breaking ball rolled over to the right side. Nolan Gorman makes the play, and Miles Michaelis 8 scoreless here today. The Chevy called to the pen, and it's Brandon Hughes. The lefty is in. Stroman went 7, retired the final 11 that he saw. And the Cardinals will have Kisner, Edman, and Newt Barr. I have to think that would be it for Michaelis with 8 scoreless and 2 hits allowed. Helsley continues to get loose. On the bench, Albert Pujols. Similar spot than the Cardinals had the other night. A lefty came in, that was Newcomb, and they waited till it got to Brendan Donovan to bring in Albert. The first pitch is a strike.
Sweeping slider right there.
Hughes making his 44th appearance. Pitched 4 days ago against Toronto. Inning in a third, no runs. Last 5 2/3, he's given up 1 hit. He's good. And the 0-2 pitch to Kisner. Put in play to short. Nico Horner makes the play.
That's a smart job by Hughes right there. You throw 2 sliders to a guy who swings at 2 in the dirt. We'll throw him another one, and see that ball was out of the zone too, and Kiz just trying to put it in play. Trying not to reinvent the wheel, huh?
You got it.
Just keep doing what works.
He's waiting. We wait. The crowd reaction to number 5. Move into the on-deck circle.
It's the worst when you're hitting. When that happens right in the middle of a pitch. That's as bad as having someone stealing second or third in the middle of your at bat.
The 0-2. Take it high.
Also what that does too is if you do it early enough, it gives maybe Tommy now a chance to get a pitch instead of maybe pitching around him thinking you might have Nootbaar on deck.
Edman, a base hit. Extra bases for Tommy. The go-ahead run at second base. Would you even let him swing the bat if you're David Ross?
Not at all.
First base open.
I was thinking they were going to pull him back. But I think in this situation too, if I'm Ollie, I'm letting him walk him. More guys on base, the better, you know?
They're going to talk about it here. It's a 3-batter minimum, so the lefty's got to be in to face Albert Pujols. If I'm David Ross, I cannot let Albert Pujols beat me. If Brendan Donovan does,
there you go.
I can live with it.
Well, you only got one guy to choose. You got Donovan's on deck. Other than that, you're in trouble. And he's hitting 288 and probably has as good of bats as anyone on this team. So I don't think you're in a really good position if you're the Cubs right now. And either way you look at it.
I think the decision is easy.
Yeah, I think you go ahead and walk him. But like I said,
I hope they don't do it. I'd love to watch it. 364 against the lefties, 11 home runs, 26 runs batted in. And the first pitch.
Oh Lordy. I thought I was going to say this might be the intentional, unintentional, or unintentional.
See if he offers that a couple of pitches and then walk him, but he went right at him.
Then he just almost made a mistake right there. I thought maybe they would go in off the plate, try to speed him up a little bit, and then just stay away, but went right there.
The 0-1 pitch. Albert hits one a ton. Deep left. It is gone. 695. They pitch to him and they get burned. His final at bat against the Cubs. A pinch hit, 2-run homer.
You got to be kidding me.
$695. 695. How in the world do you pitch to him? You can't. They did.
It's unbelievable.
.429 feet.
Look at Ollie. He's almost
106 off the bat. And Donovan hits a high fly ball into left center and caught. Albert Pujols is now one back of A-Rod for fourth all-time in the history of Major League Baseball. The Budweiser play of the game. And a pinch hit two-run homer in his final appearance against the arch-rival Chicago Cubs. And he does it in style. One back, a fourth all-time in the history of Major League Baseball. The man is amazing. Just never seen anything like it. Here's Goldie.
Sure, Miles is very appreciative.
The greatest hitter of his generation and one of the greats that ever has played this game, with another magical moment here at Busch. Out to shallow center. The catch made. It's moments like this you have to come and see it in person. Number 5, number 4, number 50 down the stretch in September, and this one, number 695. Two to nothing Cardinals on one swing of the bat. Home run number 695 from Albert Pujols, one back of A-Rod. Yachty the first out of the dugout.
Bunch of little kids, I love it. I mean, that is a no-doubter.
Two-run, a pinch hit home run. It's also the 451st different pitcher that Albert has homered against. Ryan Helsley is into the ball game. Hour and a half rain delay. You bet it was worth it. DeLuzio is in center. O'Neill in left. Carlson in right. Wow. The influence that he's had on this club will be felt for years for the young players that he's been mentoring. And the influence on the now has been incredible. 0-2. The 0-2 pitch to Morel, up and in.
A little bit of 101 right here.
Swing and a miss, and the first strikeout for Ryan Helsley.
This is what you get with some young players. He is trying to match power with power even after the ball up and in. Almost have to know a slider's coming right there.
Even Albert has a little smile.
Me too.
Can this year get any better? Maybe so down the stretch. But man, is this fun. It is electric to be here at the ballpark. Never seen it like this.
98 would be the only chance. Anything like it? I mean, just comparing the one guy coming to the plate. And
for the one guy comparison, yeah, McGuire.
But not the electricity of
the team is so good this year. And coming together, the storylines, the 0-1 pitch. Yadi's last year, Wainwright dealing at the age of 41, an MVP at first base, another MVP at third. Young players that are so exciting to watch, and it's winning baseball. Fastball, 99, just a bit low. And a young manager that's pulling all the right strings. 2 balls and a strike. Did you see how far I hit that ball?
You know what they're laughing at? Yachty coming off the pitch. Exactly what they're laughing at in the background.
Held up, and it's now 3-1.
It's exactly what they're looking at.
Good Lars Nootbaar with the 42-year-old Albert Pujols. It's a kid like that that's made this fun too.
Look at, he's got so much energy, man. I love this kid. I love it. I'm telling you, that kid's going to be a player someday soon.
3-1 pitch, and the tying run will come to the plate. Albert Pujols with 695 home runs.
I was watching a couple people in the front row, and they were like, have the cameras ready, and when the ball was hit, they didn't know if they should clap, take a video, put the camera up. So much fun.
And to think that there were some that questioned what's left in the tank. Plenty. The second half is one to remember. And now it's about getting the win for the Cardinals. Helsley a ball to Suzuki. He's got 10 home runs. He is 0 for 3 today.
You have with Helsley 3 days off, right? Wasn't thrown in 3 days. Be a little rusty. It's so funny, don't you think about the guys in the bullpen? You know, they get taxed all the time, especially like you say, high leverage, and then you get a guy 3 days off, and you're like, oh man, he needs to pitch. Like it's such a fine line of getting a couple of days here and there, and yet not getting too many. Staying sharp, but also trying to stay healthy.
And the 1-1 hit up the middle off of Helsley, could be 2. A step on the bag, double play. It's a sweep of the Cubs in his final at bat against Chicago. Albert Pujols with a pinch hit 2-run homer. The Cardinals a shutout 2-0, and they sweep Chicago.
I mean, what else can you say, Danny? Wow, what a homer
Miles Michaelis, 8 innings, 2 hits, no runs, and the big blast by Albert. So much fun. This place, like you said, is electric every night right now.
Continues tomorrow. And Albert Pujols, his next at bat, will have a chance to become the 4th all-time leader in home runs, tied with A-Rod. It's amazing. 4th in home runs, and he's 1 away. 1 a day. 2-0 our final.